Hi everyone, we're on 7.3. This is the next page or video 2. And now we're going to practice reading the unit circle. So remember what I said, creating the unit circle is one lesson and then reading it is a different lesson. So today we're going to read it and we need our little decoders. So this is like our key, our legend on a map it's called. But the sine of theta will always equal y on the unit circle only because it's actually y divided by 1. Cosine will equal x divided by 1, and tangent will be y over x. Are you guys ready to read it? So you need your unit circle. You might want to even tear off the page so that you have it handy. Okay, you ready? So sine of 3 pi over 4. So what you're going to do is you're going to start at the angle. Find the angle 3 pi over 4. And if you're like, that's not an angle, it is an angle in radian measure. So you ready? Where's 3 pi over 4? Well, this is 1/4. 2/4. 3 pi over 4 is right here. Okay, it's what degree? That'd be 135 degrees. Now this says sine. What's sine equal to? Sine is equal to the y value at this angle. So you go, I'm going to go to this angle, 3 pi over 4, and I found it. And now what's the y value there? Square root 2 over 2. So this will equal square root 2 over 2. And that's it. Okay, we're practicing reading the unit circle. Will it get harder? Yes, of course it will. Here we go. Let's do another one. Cosine. Which value is cosine? Cosine will be the x value, but where do you have to start? You have to start at 3 pi over 4. So we're going to go to 3 pi over 4 here. And the cosine, oops, focusing, sorry. Cosine is what value? The x value. So at 3 pi over 4, the x value is negative square root 2 over 2. That's the cosine of 3 pi over 4. Now we got to find the sine of 7 pi over 4. So start at 7 pi over 4. Where is that on the unit circle? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pi over 4 is right here in quadrant 4. And I forgot which value, so I'm going to go back. Sine, I forgot what sine is equal to, so I'm going to look here, the y value. So I need the y value at 7 pi over 4, which is here. And what's the y value there? Negative square root 2 over 2. Now, you tell me, is this going to cancel or combine? Cancel or combine? We have a common denominator, right? And the common denominator is 2. Negative square root 2 plus negative square root 2 is negative 2 square root 2. Now, what do you say? Does something divide out? Negative 2 over 2 is negative 1. So final answer is negative square root 2. Ta-da! Good job. All right, let's do another one. Tangent of pi over 6. Where is pi over 6? Pi over 6 is the itty-bitty, the smallest angle on the unit circle. It's right here, 30 degrees. Oh, I forgot what value we're looking for, so I'm going to go back. Oh, it's tangent. Okay, tangent takes some work. You ready to work? The tangent at pi over 6 will equal the y value divided by the x value. But the x and y value are fractions. So here we are here, pi over 6. I need the y value. The y value is 1/2 divided by the x value, square root 3 over 2. This is why you learned how to divide fractions for this lesson. And if you're wondering what we need this lesson for, you'll see. Okay, how do you divide fractions? We take the numerator and we multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator. The 2's divide out and we're left with 1 over square root 3, but we don't ever leave it like that. We have to rationalize the denominator. Say rationalize, rationalize. So ta-da, that's the tangent at pi over, okay, you want to know a secret? Don't tell anyone, they're not listening. Okay, if that's the tangent at pi over 6, write that here. Sometimes I even like to write it in red. So the tangent at pi over 6, because that took some work, right? But if it's here, well, now I don't need to find it again. It's just going to be there. Oh, yay, another tangent. Here we go. Tangent is 7 pi over 6. So go on your unit circle. I want you to find it. Where is 7 pi over 6? And then how does tangent go? Tangent is opposite over adjacent. All right, I got interrupted. Sorry. I'm back. You didn't know that I was gone, but I'm back. Here we go. 7 pi over 6, tangent. We got to start memorizing these. Tangent is y over x, y over x. So what's the y value? The y value is negative 1/2, and the x value, negative square root 3 over 2. Isn't that the same thing we just did, except they're negatives? Okay, so if it's the same thing, but we have a negative divided by a negative, what's a negative divided by a negative? A positive, right? So we already know our answer. Okay, anytime you can find a little shortcut, we're going to do it. What the heck is seconds? Seconds. I don't remember time being one of these. Oh, it's the reciprocal of something. Reciprocal of S goes with C, C goes with S. S goes with C, C goes with S. So the reciprocal of cosine. Okay, you ready? What's the cosine? Oops. What's the cosine of 11 pi over 6? Cosine of 11 pi over 6. Cosine is the x value. 11 pi over 6. So the cosine at 11 pi over 6 is this. Do you agree? Did you find it yourself? So secant will be the reciprocal of that. So flip it, and we get that. Cool. Are we done? Nope. Because what do we need to do? We need to rationalize. Say rationalize the denominator. Rationalize the denominator. If you know how to say that, you're going to look smart. People are going to pay you more money someday. There we go. Bam. Guess what? We're going to keep going because we're on this video and it's not going to stop. 4 pi over 2. Okay, you look on here. Do you see 4 pi over 2? No, because it can be reduced. So 4 pi over 2 is actually 2 pi plus the tangent at 5 pi over 4. So some of these take work, but what else have we got going on here? We're here to work. Cosecant. Cosecant is the reciprocal of S goes with C, C goes with S. S goes with C, C goes with S. Reciprocal sine, okay? Do you know how to say reciprocal? You just say 1 over that item. That means reciprocal. Okay. Sine, what's sine? Sine is the y value. Go to 2 pi. If your brain is hurting, then you're doing this correctly. Ready? Cosecant is 1 over sine. Sine is the y value. What is the y value at 2 pi? What's the y coordinate point? 0. Can we take something and divide by 0? Nope. So this entire answer is undefined. Okay, some of the answers will be undefined because you cannot divide by 0. The tangent at 5 pi over 4, you want to see that one? Do you see how it's y divided by x, but these are the same coordinate point? The same x and y value? They're ugly, but they're the same. So that's why that tangent was 1. A negative angle? Okay, there's 2 different ways to do this. Ready? Well, what does a negative degree mean? It means to go down. So we're going to go down 2 pi over 3. This unit circle is so big. There's other ones that are smaller. Okay, watch. So if you start at 0 and you're going up to 2 pi over 3, start here and go up to 2 pi over 3. We don't want positive 2 pi over 3. We want negative 2 pi over 3. So this distance down here lands you where? Here at 4 pi over 3. And do you remember what value we need? Sine or cosine, x or y? Let's see here. Sine. So watch. Sine of negative 2 pi over 3 is the same exact thing as the sine of 4 pi over 3. Sine, if you forgot, sine is equal to which value? Y value. So what's the y value at 4 pi over 3? Negative square root 3 over 2. Ta-da, ta-dee, ta-da, ta-da. I hope I got it right. I did. Yay. Okay. Negative 5 pi over 2. Remember, you can find a coterminal angle by adding or subtracting 2 pi. So here's a little trick. Why are all of these different? Why are they all different? Just so you have a bunch of examples, okay? So I don't know where this is, so I'm going to add 2 pi. And we can add 2 pi by adding 4 pi over 2. Doesn't that mean 2 pi? Okay, so negative 5 pi over 2 plus 4 pi over 2 is negative 1 pi over 2. So this is the same as tangent of negative pi over 2. What is that? Let's see here. So we know positive pi over 2 is this, so negative pi over 2 is this. So we're going to be down here, and tangent is y over x, so we're going back here. Y, what's the y value here? Negative 1. And the x value? 0. Can we divide by 0? No. So this is undefined. Undefined. All right, last example. I mean, we're going to be doing this forever, rest of your life. Here we go. 2 times the cosine of negative 3 pi. And then you go, what's negative 3 pi? I don't know. So I'm just going to add 2 pi. And then, oh, it's negative pi. Well, that's 180. Watch. Negative pi and pi are the same. Positive pi, negative pi, right? You end up at the same spot. And what are we looking for? Sine or cosine? Cosine. Okay, cosine is the x value. So what's the x value at 180 degrees, or pi? It's negative 1. Plus the cotangent at negative pi over 4. Cotangent, holy moly. Okay, so this is pi over 4. So negative pi over 4 will be here, the same as 7 pi over 4. Now, watch this. If tangent is y over x, then cotangent is x over y, like that. Okay, I'm still here. Cotangent, not at pi over 4, but negative pi over 4. So here, oh, what are all the tangents and cotangents here? Well, this is, I just want to let you know it's kind of easy because this is going to be the same, right? What's anything divided by itself? 1. But we have a positive root 2 over 2 divided by a negative root 2 over 2. So this is going to equal 2. Negative times a negative, positive. And what's a positive divided by a negative? Negative. So 2 plus negative 1 equals 1. Whew. Was that hard? Yes. Is it always that hard? No. But we saw lots of different examples, which is good. Okay, let's see how fast we can do these. Describe below are angles in standard position. Determine in which quadrant or what axis. I love these examples. Okay, what is the cosine? The cosine is x. So where is x positive? In what 2 quadrants are the x values positive? Do you see here how we put positive, positive? So the x values are positive in quadrant 1 and 4. Cool. Okay, but then the tangent has to be negative. Now tangent is equal to a fraction, which means how is a fraction less than 0? We need to have positive over negative or negative over positive for the answer to be negative. If they're the same, same over same, it'd be positive. Okay, now what quadrants are the x and y value signs different? R-E-N-T. Okay, what 2 quadrants? So look at your quadrants. So in quadrant 1, they're both positive, they're the same, and here they're the same. So they're in quadrants 2 and 4, they're different. So this one has to be in quadrant 2 or 4. Okay, you ready? So which quadrant has both of those characteristics? Only what? Only quadrant 4. Isn't this fun? That's it. We don't have to find a number. All right, I'm out of time, so you're going to have to pause and zoom in or pause and copy the rest of these down, but I hope you have fun with these.